She wakes when the sun rises. It's the pale creep of dawn, the lightening of the sky, that rouses her from sleep, and nothing else. There is no schedule, routine, or obligation that requires her to wake before daylight on any given day, other than what she chooses. So when the sky moves from black to deep blue to pale gray, it is her body that wakes her. She moves with the rhythm of the day. She prepares a simple breakfast and takes it outside in the garden before tending to it. It's late summer, so the bounty is plentiful. She lives alone, so she takes a bit of what she needs for herself, fruit from the orchard trees that line the pathways, whole beans and the early corn, sweet potatoes and the last of the strawberries, and the rest of the harvest will go to the residence's kitchen for sharing, redistribution, and the communal lunch and dinner that day. She waves hello to 2 other early risers, catching up with a neighbor, and introducing herself to a new tenant, a school teacher, who'd just moved into this residential commune a few days earlier. As the garden starts to warm up with the heat of the morning, she goes back inside and checks the status of the solar panels and the battery bank to make sure the home is storing energy efficiently before she heads out. She volunteers at a nursery with new parents twice a week, so today she must take a short automated tram ride to the other side of the city. Before catching the transport, she stops at the bakery operated by the neighboring residential commune to pick up the order of pastries she'd placed yesterday for the parents at the nursery, as well as to place an order of bread for dinner. She doesn't pay for the baked goods. She would barely have a concept of what that means. Every commune monitors its inputs and outputs along with the city and the Ohlone stewards, and so her orders are based on what resources are available to share. People rarely take advantage of such a system, because when the city began to equitably share resources, greed became a social taboo. She wouldn't think to place an order for more than what she needs, or what she intends to share. She walks along the nearby creek that was restored half a century past, that runs down from the hills to empty into the city's estuarine lake. She lives in the foothills, so the grasses are yellowed with the late summer sun, casting gold up into the hillside. The trip to the nursery takes her downhill, past the downtown center around the lake, where the tallest buildings are the farms, to the marshlands where the residential communes are built on elevated platforms and pylons, and connected with walkways so the buildings don't disturb the tides. After stepping off the auto tram, she stops for a moment to soak in the sun and breathe in the warm, briny bay air. As she travels the walkways, she sees a friend who lives in a commune along the way, an ecologist who lives in the marshes to aid the recovery and integration of abalone and Xerces blue butterflies into urban marsh habitats. The restoration project is in its final stages, and her friend is chatting with a colleague and Ohlone steward about the ceremony and celebration that's being planned to close the project out. She stays only briefly to hear their updates and offer both congratulations, as well as a pastry, before heading to the nursery. She volunteers here because she loves children, though she's chosen not to have any herself. She works primarily with infants, giving the exhausted new parents a chance to rest or to take time for themselves a few times a week. Today, with the parents' blessing, she's introducing a 10-week-old baby to the 6-year-olds, who are starting to learn about the stages of development. With the guidance and instruction of the volunteers, the children are careful and gentle with the newborn. They giggle as she shows them how to change the baby's diaper, and sing a soft lullaby as they help her put the infant down for a nap. Some of them caught wind of her stash of goodies, so she slips the children pastries for their help and good work as they leave. The shift changes, and she takes her lunch at the nearby communal kitchen, sitting down at a long table with other volunteers, some of the parents, and their children. They enjoy grilled fish from the marshes, a salad made from foraged greens in community gardens like the one she tends, acorn bread, and dessert, chocolate mousse made from the cocoa grown in the downtown vertical farms. The conversation today is about the proposed trade passage that the Ohlone stewards are negotiating with the Pomo stewards to the north, the Miwok to the east, and the Esalen to the south. The goods the Pomo and Esalen wish to trade would require heavy transit to pass through Miwok and Ohlone territory by rail, and all of the tribal stewards have partnered with the Transportation Board and local universities to consider what kinds of offsets must be made to minimize disruption to the ecologies in the city, which are already under the pressure of the dense human population. She expresses to the table her hope and excitement that when the deal is reached, the trade passage will bring with it new Pomo and Esalen artists to teach at the city's Arts Council. When the meal concludes, she helps clean up before she catches another auto tram, this time going back towards the hills, but disembarking by the lake. The downtown central transit corridor is busy this late summer afternoon, with harvests reaching their peaks and businesses at their most productive end-of-quarter deliveries. Everything that's leaving the city for redistribution departs within the next few weeks. Food for storage and for cities to the north, locally crafted art, clothing, and goods, and the people who wish to relocate to help fill any temporary labor shortages in the nearby towns. She's come to say goodbye to a dear friend she works with at the Arts Council, a film director who's mentoring budding filmmakers at arts councils in towns outside of the Bay. They just finished a film together, a long-time passion project of her friends that she edited. It was debuted here only 2 days earlier, and they'll be screening and distributing the film as they complete the mentorship program. They sit together at a local tea stall, fragrant wreaths of steam curling from their cups, talking about the reception the film received at the party after the screening. She asks after their accommodations during the 3-month mentorship tour. The arts councils have provided them with dormitory accommodations that they keep available for resident artists, but in a few towns, there are more comfortable private homes open to them in the residential communes. They're going to stay in the dorms, though. It'll keep them centrally located and more accessible to the students. She walks them to the train station and hugs them goodbye before they depart. They promise to message her when they get to the first town. She watches the train leave the station, then heads to the Arts Council to check the task board. She'd been in post-production on the film for several months, and she's grown unused to having free time. In the bustling Art Nouveau-style grand foyer of the Arts Council building, artisans of all crafts file placements for projects within the city. She logs into a public terminal to check what placements are available for her specialty and experience level, but she finds herself feeling indifferent about attaching herself to another film project. She logs out and commits instead to check the Public Works task board when she gets home, to see if there are any placements where she might apply herself to a few weeks of physical labor as a change of pace. She decides to walk back, only about an hour, wending her way off the tram's path and through the parks and gardens that are dotted by the multifamily residential communes. Following the wafting scent of frying meat from the kitchen of one commune that raises chickens, she pops into their butcher and picks up 2 eggs for the next morning's breakfast. She stops at a library stall at a different commune to browse their newest selections. As she meanders back towards home, she decides to sit under an oak tree to doodle in the blank journal she picked up, enjoying the late afternoon sunlight and the sound of children playing nearby. Her reverie is only broken by the creeping chill of evening and the sudden memory that she has bread to retrieve. She gathers her things and wends the rest of her way back, just catching the baker who is shutting down for the day. She accepts the rolls from the baker with an apologetic smile, thanks him, and returns home to prepare a meal from the produce she harvested that morning. She gets back just as those who took communal dinner together are cleaning up after themselves in the kitchen. There was a little extra in the spare box, so taking some, she returns to her home and doubles the meal she cooks to take a plate to her neighbor, an elderly woman with mobility issues who's been spending more time at home. They enjoy the meal together on the neighbor's patio in the garden, and she offers to come over the next day when the doctor visits for a weekly appointment with the older woman. The lights are coming on inside the residences as she escorts her neighbor back in, retrieves the dishes, and bids her goodnight. Once home, she boots up her computer and checks the Public Works task board. Though she's not an experienced manual laborer, there are always ecological restoration projects that need volunteers, vertical farms to be tended, or municipal works that could use extra hands. She chooses a short-term project, maintenance on a joint freshwater harvesting effort between the Municipal Utilities District, a community college, and the Ohlone stewards, repairing and replacing fog fences in the hills. She looks forward to the opportunity to being outside in the redwood forests working with her hands after spending the last months in front of a screen. The western horizon is banded in gold, pink, and lavender as the blue sky overhead deepens into dusk. Like most of the buildings, the windows in her home allow the sunset colors in, but keep the interior light from spilling out. So she heads onto the balcony to watch the stars come out. Taking a book and a mug of hot cider with her and wrapping herself in a blanket, she reads until she can't see the text on the page anymore, then turns her attention skyward. Only the occasional passing glow of the adaptive lighting in front of the auto tram briefly obscures the brilliance of the innumerable stars as they glimmer into view. The sounds of her neighbors' quiet conversations and the soft hooting of the garden's resident great horned owl slowly fade away, and she realizes after some time she's lost herself among the stars again, her thoughts spiraling away into the Milky Way's great rift. Yawning and stretching, she gathers her thoughts back to her, along with her mug, book, and blanket, to turn in for the night. Before closing the sliding balcony door behind her, she steals one last glance at the bright belt of stars arcing over the darkened city, breathing in her gratitude and love for the home she has in this place and in the community around her. You just listened to the first installment of Next 150. This collaborative art project rests on the Haudenosaunee value of seventh-generation thinking, that when we make decisions today, we need to consider how they'll affect our descendants 7 generations down the line. It asks participants to imagine, what do you want the world to be in 150 years? In 2175, what is the best future you imagine humanity living in? You are being asked to step forward and share your vision. Let your imagination run wild with the greatest possibilities for our species and our planet. Too often, we are overwhelmed with others' visions of doom and apocalypse because the people currently at the top of our systems benefit from our fear, despair, and hopelessness. If we all start to imagine a new destination, we can find our footing again. Next 150 is an art project spanning media, not just audio. Create your vision in whatever medium inspires you. It can be a poem, an essay, a game, a painting, a photo, a video, an animation, or any other format that can be published and showcased online. Submit your work at www.dancingstickman.com/next150. That's dancingstickman.com/next150. Sign up for the newsletter and tell your friends. This is a Dancing Stickman production.